and Gauranga. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Om Jnana Timirandhasya Jnananjana Salakaya Chakshurunmilitam Jena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Jena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kada Mahyam Dadati Sha Padantikam Vandeham Shri Gura Shri Juta Padakamalang Shri Gurung Vaishnavangscha Shri Rupang Sagrajatang Sahagana Raghunatha Nitang Tang Sajivam Sadhaitang Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanitangscha Namong Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Sunnavadi Paschata Desatarine Vancha Kalpatarubhascha Kripa Sindhu Bhaivascha Patitanang Pavanebho Vaishnavebho Namo Namaha Namo Mahabadannaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gauratishe Namaha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Deenabandha Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Narayanang Namaskritva Narang Chaiva Narottamam Deving Saraswating Vyasang Tato Jaya Mudiraye Nashtaprayeshu Avadreshu Nityang Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Sloke Bhaktir Bhavati Nashtaki Hare Krishna. So today is very special day. For the devotees, every day is special. Today is very special. Today is the appearance day, disappearance day of different great personalities. So His Holiness Swami Maharaj will talk about Raghunath Das Goswami in the evening. So we will not discuss that topic in the morning. So other personalities, we will be focusing on three personalities. First is Pundarik Vidyanidhi, second is Raghunandan Thakur, and third one is Vishnu Priya Devi. So Mahaprabhu and his associates have descended in this material world in order to attract the conditioned souls to Golok Vrindavan. That's why our Acharyas are explaining Gaura Mandala Bhumi Jeva Jane Chintamani Tarhai Braja Bhume Vas. It is explained, if someone can realize that Gaura Mandala Bhumi, what is Gaura Mandala Bhumi? The places where Mahaprabhu and his associates perform his pastimes. That is Gaura Mandala Bhumi. Jeva Jane Chintamani. Those who know that Gaura Mandala Bhumi is also Chintamani, spiritual. Tarhai Braja Bhume Vas. They can enter into Brajabhumi Vrindavan. So all of you know that Golok in the spiritual world has two divisions. One section is Vrindavan, another section is Navadvip. So in Vrindavan, Krishna is performing his pastimes, and in Navadvip, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is distributing that love of Vrindavan through Harinam Sankirtan. So Mahaprabhu's advent is very, very significant for all of us, because Mahaprabhu does not come in every Kali Yuga. Just like Krishna doesn't come in every Dapur Yuga. In the same way, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also does not come in every Kali Yuga. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita that he comes in every Yuga. Paritranaya sadhunang vinasaya dushkritam dharma samstapanarthaya sambhavami yuge yuge. But that is not about Krishna, the original Supreme Personality of Godhead. That is about Yuga Avatar. Because Krishna is not Avatar. Krishna is source of all avatars. He is known as Avatari. Ete changsha kalapungsha Krishnastu Bhagavansam. Krishna is Swayam Bhagavan. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is also Swayam Bhagavan. Sri Krishna Chaitanya Radha Krishna Nahe Anya. He is Krishna, but with the mood of Srimati Radharani, and also color of Srimati Radharani. Krishna Varnam Tisha Akrishnam. So he is chanting the name of Krishna, but he is not having the color of Krishna. That's why it is very difficult to understand Chaitanya Mahaprabhu as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, because he comes in the mood of a devotee. So therefore, understanding Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is very, very important. If we can understand Chaitanya Mahaprabhu as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, then our life will become perfect. But in order to realize that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, we have to take shelter of Nityananda Prabhu. And in order to understand Nityananda Prabhu, we have to take shelter of the Vaishnavas. This is the process. Just like Raghunath Das Goswami, he wanted to stay with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He wanted to give up everything. But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, go back to your place and try to act as a worldly person externally, but experience your renunciation within. Antare kara nishtha, baire lokachar. So act like a worldly person, but internally cultivate Krishna consciousness. And that is the purpose of our Krishna consciousness movement also. Krishna consciousness is not about external. It is internal. Ado Shraddha, Tata Sadhu Sangha, Bhajana Kriya, Anartha Nibriti, Nishtha, Ruchi, Ashakti, Bhava and Prema is all internal. It is nothing external. Krishna consciousness means changing the heart, not the external feature of the body. We can do that, but that's not the real symptom of Krishna consciousness. By putting tilaka, by changing our dress, by cleaning our head, we should not think that we have become Krishna conscious. Right? If you just like wear the dress of a cricketer, then someone does that, I have become a cricketer. By changing the dress, you cannot become a cricketer. For that you have to play cricket. In the same way, by changing the dress, you cannot become a Vaishnava. You have to play the role of a Vaishnava. That is very, very important. We have to act on the Vaishnava platform. So therefore, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu told Raghunath Das Goswami that you go back to your place. Then Nityananda Prabhu came, then he met Nityananda Prabhu at Panihati, near Calcutta, West Bengal. So Nityananda Prabhu told him that feed the Vaishnavas, cheap rice and yogurt, Chiradadi Mahotsav. When the Vaishnavas are very pleased by the prasadam arrangement of Raghunath Das Goswami, Nityananda Prabhu became very pleased, and he put his lotus feet on the head of Raghunath Das Goswami and said, all your desires will be fulfilled by Krishna. So this is the process. We should not jump. If we try to jump, then what will happen? We will break our bone. Nothing else will happen. So our devotional service will be spoiled. That's why Mahaprabhu has taught us, Gopi Bhartu Pada Kamalayo Das Dasanu Das. We have to take shelter of the Vaishnavas. That's why in order to understand Mahaprabhu, we have to understand the associates of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Gaurangir Songi Gane Nitya Siddha Kari Mane. We have to understand that the associates of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu are Nitya Siddha Bhaktas. There are three categories of Siddha: Sadhana Siddha, Kripa Siddha and Nitya Siddha. So Nitya Siddha means those who are eternally liberated souls. They have not become the victim of Maya. Maya cannot touch them. They are Nitya Siddhas. Srila Prabhupada used to say also that Maya cannot touch me. Right? But he was praying to the Lord. Then one devotee asked Prabhupada, what were you praying? Prabhupada said, I was praying so that I don't become victimized by Maya. So one devotee was there who also heard Prabhupada told that Maya cannot touch me. So he was a little confused. And asked Prabhupada that, Prabhupada, your statements seem to be contradictory. Your prayer and your statement is not matching. He said, why? He said, you are telling that you prayed to the Lord that Maya should not catch you, or you should not become victimized by Maya. But you also told that Maya cannot touch you. He said, there is no contradiction. Because I always pray to the Lord, that's why Maya cannot touch me. Nitya. The prayer of the Nitya Siddhas, they pray all the time. But sadhakas cannot pray all the time. That's why we become victimized by Maya. Right? Everything has to be Nitya. Nityam Bhagavata Seva. What is the meaning of Nityam Bhagavata Seva? What is the meaning of Nityam Bhagavata Seva? Every day. Every moment. But at least every day. At least in the morning we have to come. That's the expectation of our founder Acharya. We should start somewhere. At least every day hearing Srimad Bhagavatam. At Parikshit Maharaj, he heard continuously. Continuity is very, very important. Rupa Goswami says, always remember Krishna. That is Nitya. Mahaprabhu is telling, Trinadapi Sunichena Taradapi Saishana Manina Manadina Kirtaniya Sada Hari. Sada means Nitya. Always. So what do you think? Is possible? That's why we are not Nitya Siddhas. It's possible for the Nitya Siddhas. But for those who are not Nitya Siddhas, they have to do sadhana. Nitya Siddha devotees, they don't need to go to sadhana. They don't need to practice because already they got perfection. So Mahaprabhu's associates, they don't need sadhana. They are Siddhas. But you may say, why they are doing sadhana? To teach us. Because they are playing two roles. One as a sadhaka and other one as a siddha. Just like Rupa Goswami. Rupa Goswami, in his eternal form as Rupa Manjari, she is performing, or he is performing, her or his eternal service to Krishna as Rupa Manjari. But externally, in his sadhaka body, as Rupa Goswami, he is chanting the holy name of the Lord. He is doing all the limbs of sadhana bhakti. So that is the lesson we should learn. Even the Nitya Siddhas, they do sadhana bhakti. But we sadhaka, sometimes we feel we don't need sadhana. That is the problem. Nitya Siddhas, they don't need sadhana, but they do sadhana bhakti. When Haridas Thakur was sick, he is about to leave his body, Mahaprabhu said, "How are you?" He said, "My body is all right, but mind is not all right." Why? Because I am not able to chant my number of rounds. His body is completely collapsed, but he is telling, my body is all right. Problem is in the mind. So he is revealing the secret that we don't have any problem anywhere. Only problem is in the mind. Mind is the root cause of our problem. Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada used to say that there is no problem in this world. Only one problem, mind. Nobody can disturb us except our mind. That's why mind needs to be managed, and that is the purpose of sadhana bhakti. So going back to Mahaprabhu's associates are Nitya Siddhas. It should be very, very clear. Otherwise, we will commit offense at the lotus feet. So Gauranga Mahaprabhu is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. His associates are Nitya Siddhas. So one of them has appeared on this tithi today is Pundarik Vidyanidhi. Pundarik Vidyanidhi is also a very interesting personality. He is Vrishabhanu Maharaj in Krishna Leela, father of Srimati Radharani. So actually he appeared in Bangladesh, in the present Bangladesh, and came to Navadvip to reside at the bank of Ganges. Mukunda used to know Pundarik Vidyanidhi, and he knew very well that Pundarik Vidyanidhi is the pure devotee of the Lord. But externally, he was like a materialistic person. The way he used to lead his life, aristocratic life. In those days, more than 500 years ago, life of aristocracy is explained in detail. So Mukunda told Gadadhar Pandit, and Gadadhar is a very simple, renounced person. Very renounced person. So he told Gadadhar, let's go and meet a pure Vaishnava, Pundarik Vidyanidhi. And he thought he will be a very renounced person because he is a person of renunciation. So he went and he saw he is lying on a bed, beautiful bed, surrounded by ladies, fanning and taking pan, and all these things are going on. He said, what kind of Vaishnava? Looks like I have come to a wrong place. He was thinking inside. And pure devotees can read the mind. So Mukunda could read the mind of Gadadhar Pandit. Then, in order to clear that doubt in the mind of Gadadhar Pandit, he recited the verse explaining the mercy of Krishna. Aho Bhakyan Stanakala Kutam, that verse he recited. As soon as he heard the name of Krishna and he heard the qualities of Krishna, how compassionate Krishna is. So Pundarik Vidyanidhi lost his external situation. And all the symptoms of love of Godhead manifested in his body. He started rolling on the ground, tearing up all the wonderful bed sheets and other clothes. And he was mad in love of Godhead. Because love of Godhead makes a person mad. Right? So one devotee was telling, some people say that devotees are like mad. Definitely. Actually, we all are mad. Either we are mad for sense enjoyment or mad for Krishna. Madness cannot be given up. So, when we become mad for Krishna, that is the perfection of madness. Right? So, Mahaprabhu came to make us transcendentally mad, because he became also mad. So, when he came from Gaya, previously he was acting like a worldly person, Pandit, scholarly person, repeating people, and people used to be scared to meet Nimai Pandit, and devotees used to avoid him. If Mahaprabhu comes from this way, Nimai Pandit, Gadadhar Pandit will see him and he'll take another route. And he used to tell, why you are avoiding me? Oh, you are not thinking that I am not a devotee. When I will become devotee, then you will understand what kind of devotee I will become. So Mahaprabhu came back, and he was exhibiting that love, and he was acting like a mad person. And people started thinking that Nimai has become mad. And Sachimata started thinking also that Nimai became mad. And he was using also many medicines to cure him. That's not happening, because it's different kind of madness. So Gadadhar Pandit, he was also called, and he told Sachimata that this is a very wonderful madness, and I am thinking when I can get that madness. So this is transcendental madness. So Gadadhar Pandit could immediately understand that Pundarik Vidyanidhi is a pure devotee of the Lord. So now he committed an offense in the mind. What to do? How to counteract the offense? So one of the best way to counteract the offense is to accept him as spiritual master. So Gadadhar Pandit decided to take initiation from Pundarik Vidyanidhi, and Pundarik Vidyanidhi became the spiritual master of Gadadhar Pandit. Actually their relationship is eternal, but through pastimes, so Mahaprabhu is showing the position of Pundarik Vidyanidhi. Lesson to be learned that we should not judge people externally, and we should not judge devotees also externally, because external judgment is the root of our offense. We never know what consciousness they have. Vaishnavar kriya mudra vijnana bujhai. Even the expert people, topmost personalities cannot understand the behavior of a Vaishnava. So therefore, we should be very, very careful about judging a devotee. So through this pastime, Mahaprabhu is teaching us that if you judge a devotee, there is a great chance of committing offenses. And love of Godhead is the integral quality of a Nitya Siddhya. They don't have to do sadhana bhakti to get love of Godhead. Pundarik Vidyanidhi did not have to go through the process of sadhana bhakti. Generally, Nityavadha jivas, they have to go through the process of sadhana bhakti. Sadhana bhakti থেকে হয় রতির উদয়, রতি গাঢ় হইলে প্রেম নাম কয়. So sadhana bhakti is very, very important for a sadhaka, because through sadhana our anarthas will disappear. Ado shraddha tata sadhu sangha bhajana kriya. Bhajana kriya means process of sadhana bhakti. And along with the sadhana bhakti, we have to carefully avoid. What do you have to avoid? Vaishnava parad. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, while he was teaching the science of devotional service to Rupa Goswami, he was explaining very wonderfully that how by the mercy of Guru and Krishna, a fortunate soul receives the seed of devotional creeper. ব্রহ্মাণ্ড ভূমিতে কোনো ভাগ্যবান জীব গুরু কৃষ্ণ প্রসাদে পায় Bhakti Lata Bij. So two things are there. One is the seed, other one is that a seed of a devotional creeper. Bhakti is not a tree. Bhakti is a creeper. Creeper means it is always dependent. So bhakti is an eternal dependent process. It's not that at the level of sadhana bhakti we are dependent, and when we become siddha we become independent. That does not work. Bhakti Lata is eternally dependent. So therefore our bhakti creeper has to be dependent. So Brahmanda Bhumite kono bhagyavan jeev Guru Krishna prasade pai Bhakti Lata Bij. Then that seed has to be planted. Right? Where you can plant the seed? In the soil. Right? Not in the marble floor, right? The soil, fertile soil, soft soil. So, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is comparing our heart as the soil. So, in order to plant the seed properly, our heart has to be fertile. How it can be fertile? What is the quality of the heart in order to make it fertile? Humility. Humility is the symptom of fertility of the heart. So in order to make our heart fertile, for the devotional seed to fructify and grow, we have to be humble. It's like soil. But if you have ego, then it is like a marble floor. It's not going to work. Even if you receive the seed, it's not going to fructify. Why? Because the soil or the field is not suitable for the seed to fructify. It's a very, very important science. And Srila Prabhupada writes in the purport that we can get the seed through the process of initiation. Very interestingly is narrating this point wonderfully. That we can receive the seed of Shuddha Bhakti through the process of initiation from a bona fide spiritual master. We got the seed. Now, in order to fructify the seed, there should be a process. How? Now, okay, the soil is good. Now, seed has been planted. Now, what to be done now? We have to water it. Watering. This watering process is siksha. It's a continuous process. It's the eternal process. Diksha is one-time event, receiving the seed. But siksha is a continuous process. So watering is very, very important. And watering has to be done how? Regularly. Nitya. Regularly. Every day. Shravan kirtan jale karaho sinchan. That watering process is hearing and chanting. So when hearing and chanting will happen, then devotional creeper will start growing. And Mahaprabhu is telling two problems in this process. What is the purpose of this devotional creeper? It has to grow and break the coverings of the material world, go through Brahma Jyoti, enter into Vaikuntha, and it will go to Goloka Vrindavan and take the shelter of the lotus feet of Krishna. And from this devotional creeper, love of Godhead in the form of fruit will manifest. And that devotee will enjoy that fruit of love of Godhead. That is a journey. But in that journey, there are two problems. First problem is that when a creeper grows, there is a problem of different animals enter into that garden. That's why you have to keep the fence very strong. What is the fence? Prabhupada is writing that Uttama Bhakta acts like the fence. When you take shelter of the Uttama Bhaktas, then our fence of the garden of devotional creeper is very, very strong. But the problem is that one special animal will enter. Mahaprabhu is telling it's called mad elephant. And what is that mad elephant? Aparad. Offending the Vaishnavas is like a mad elephant. So your garden is very wonderful, creeper is also, everything is happening good. If mad elephant enters into that garden, what will happen? Everything will be destroyed. Nothing will work. In the same way, so we are doing everything wonderfully. Receiving the seed, watering the seed, protecting the seed, but committing offenses. Then everything will be finished. The devotional creeper will be dried up because mad elephant will uproot the devotional creeper and whole thing will be dried up. That is the first problem. Then what you have to do? Elephant should not be avoided, right? Because elephant doesn't have any discrimination because it's mad. Not only elephant, it's a mad elephant. So what is the intelligent thing to do to deal with mad elephant? Stay far, far away from the mad elephant. So you should be carefully avoiding, very, very carefully avoiding. What to avoid? Offending Vaishnavas. That's the first precaution you have to take. And he is telling there is another problem. Along with the devotional creeper growing, there is a possibility of weeds also growing. Right? Those who know gardening or agriculture, that is very, very important aspect to learn. Along with the main crops, there are weeds in the field also. And Prabhu is telling, if you want to know, go Talasari and experience directly. So, that weeds will grow. And problem is that when the weeds get water, it grows faster than the main creeper. And the growth of the main creeper will be stopped. That is the problem. So what is this problem? So there are 6 weeds, 6 kinds of weeds Mahaprabhu is mentioning in Chaitanya Charitamrita. Nisiddhachar kutinati jiv hingshan labh puja pratishtha di jato uposakhagan. This is called weeds. Uposakha means weeds. So Nisiddhachar. What is Nisiddhachar? Sinful activities. Nisiddhachar. Prohibited activities. So that's why Mahaprabhu has warned that when we are nurturing the creeper of devotional service, we have to very, very carefully avoid sinful activities. Prabhupada, that's why he has introduced chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Along with that, follow 4 regulative principles. Because that's the process by which we can avoid Nisiddhachar, sinful activities. Then Kutinati. Kutinati means duplicity, politics, backbiting. So simplicity and duplicity. Vaishnavism means simplicity. Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, Saralatai Vaishnavata. Simplicity is Vaishnavism. But we have a problem because we cannot be simple in this material world, and especially in this age of Kali. So we become duplicitous. Duplicity means something is inside, something is outside. Inside you don't like that person, but externally you are telling, Prabhu, you are wonderful devotee. I get so much inspiration by seeing you, but internally you don't have any respect. That is called duplicity. So you have to give up that. This is a very dangerous bad quality to nurture in our heart. That has to be given up. Nisiddhachar, kutinati. Jivhingshan. Jivhingshan means giving miseries to other living entities. Killing some animals, killing other living entities, giving pain to other living entities. This is also weed, jivhingshan. And Prabhupada is telling, after getting the gift of Krishna consciousness, if someone does not preach Krishna consciousness, he is also in the category of jivhingshan. So in order to be free from the dosa of jivhingshan, we have to preach Krishna consciousness. Because that is the greatest offense we can commit to other living entities if we don't distribute Krishna consciousness. So that is the third one. Then labh, puja, pratishtha. We all hear all the labh means we are doing bhakti for some material benefit. Material benefit. What I'll get. That has to be given up. No, we should not do bhakti for any material benefit. Anna vilasita sunyam. Jnana karmadi anavritam. Anukulyana krishna anusilanam bhakti ruttama. So labh, then puja. So puja, getting worship, is compulsory. It happens. So our Acharya is explaining, getting puja is not a problem. Because that will anyway happen. But expecting puja is a problem. But the problem is, when you get puja regularly, unconsciously or maybe consciously also, slowly we start expecting. Right or wrong? Every day you come to the temple, someone offers you garland. So 1 day, 2 days, 3 days, 4 days, then if you get it regularly, what will happen? Expectation. So there is a sadhu. He was staying in a village and he renounced his family life and became a sadhu, and he used to stay in a cave near the village, outside of the village, on a mountain. So the villagers were very impressed by his renunciation. And in order to reciprocate, the villagers used to go on a particular day and used to offer him gifts and pujas and everything. Every year it was happening, like Vyas Puja. So every year he is getting on a particular day. So 1 year what happened? On that day, the villagers were not coming. Then that sadhu started checking, the day is okay or not. He checked, yes, day is okay. He said, maybe time has not come, time is also same time. Still people are not coming. What happened? So renounced. But because he was getting regularly, he developed the expectations. So then he came out of the cave to see whether villagers are coming or not. Because from the cave he was not able to see. So he came out, he saw nobody is coming. So there was a tree, he climbed on the tree to see whether they are coming or not. Then he went up, top of the tree. The branch of the tree broke and he also fell on the ground and broke his bones. So that is the result of expectation of puja. And that is the very deep-rooted disease of the conditioned soul. And we are stuck in that. And Krishna is seeing the fun. That he has entered into the process of Krishna consciousness to get me, now he is into different line. And we are stuck. Man, very easy and very attractive way to be stuck. That's why Prabhupada is telling again and again, reminding, Jive Swarupay Krishner Nityadas. It's a science. It's a deep-rooted science. That's why Prabhupada introduced the system of changing the name. Changing of the name during initiation is not an external thing. It's a deep-rooted principle. Deep-rooted principle. That's why he used to say Das. So maybe someone got initiated and got the name Radha Rasbihari Das. Okay. So one devotee went to Prabhupada, Prabhupada, I forgot the name you gave. It happens sometimes. Prabhupada said, okay, you forgot the name. He said, oh, Samsundar or something. Said, if you remember the second part of the name? He said, yes, Prabhupada, Das. If you remember that, that is enough. Whether you are Samsundar Das or Radha Madhav Das or Radha Rasbihari Das, you are Das. That is most important part of the name. But Prabhupada has introduced another system. We should address other devotee as Prabhu. So Radha Rasbihari Das, who got initiated, now people are addressing him as Radha Rasbihari Prabhu. And he is hearing regularly. Nityam. So when we hear regularly, the conditioned soul has a nature to believe that. That is the nature of the conditioned situation. So he started thinking that I was Radha Rasbihari Das, but now I think I have become Radha Rasbihari Prabhu. Because everybody is telling me Prabhu, Prabhu. And someone called him, who is speaking? I am Radha Rasbihari Prabhu speaking. So already he has changed his name. Unconsciously or consciously it's done. Because that is inside. There's a deep-rooted disease. So name change has been done, reinitiated by his ego. But in ISKCON, everything is Maha. Mahaprasad, Maharina, Maha Big Book. So people don't become satisfied so easily. Without that Maha, he started thinking, only Prabhu. I should become Mahaprabhu. So that is, Prabhupada said, that is the last snare of Maya to think I am God. We should not think it's only for the other school of spiritual practice. It happens in the devotional journey also. When you start expecting worship, that is the symbol of thinking himself as God. Because only one person is worthy of worship. Who is that? Krishna. Nobody is worthy of worship. Prabhupada showed that process. So once one Guru Puja was going on, Prabhupada was also there on this planet physically. So one South Indian Swami came to see Srila Prabhupada, and that time Guru Puja was going on. And you know, Sri Guru Charana Padma is sing Guru Puja time. He was seeing that people are singing, dancing. Prabhupada's time jumping was very ecstatic, jumping high like anything. But he was observing that Prabhupada also was singing Sri Guru Charana Padma. He was little bit disturbed by that. And he was talking to another devotee on sannyasi. He said, how come your Swami is doing his own puja? He started thinking like that. That Prabhupada is also singing Sri Guru Charana Padma. Then that Prabhu told that he is not doing his own puja. We are offering puja to him. That's why you are singing. But he is not accepting that puja. He is offering that puja back to his spiritual master. That's why he is also singing Sri Guru Charana Padma. And that is the meaning of transparent bhaya medium. He can become the spiritual master, who does not hold anything with him, who transfers back through the process of Guru Parampara to Krishna. Then he can become the spiritual master. As soon as he starts thinking, I am the worthy of worship, then he falls down from his position as a spiritual master. That's why Mahaprabhu is telling, Labh Puja. Then Pratishtha, position. We want position. Right? We are too much enamored in the external position. But we have to have the ambition of internal position. Ado Shraddha. We have come here to get the position. What is the highest position? Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is talking to Ramananda Rai. What is the highest position? Who has love of Godhead. He is having the highest position. Even that position is greater than the position of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. That's what we have joined this movement. Ado Shraddha Tata Sadhu Sangha Bhajana Kriya Anartha Nibriti Nishtha Ruchi Ashakti Bhava and Prema. But we are too much attracted by the externals and the externals of the institution also. We forget our real goal of life and get attracted by the external position of this society. That is called pratishtha. Very, very dangerous. That's why Prabhupada says that who became good king? Who did not want to become good king? If you want to become a king, very dangerous. Because it's a very, very dangerous position. Very, very dangerous position. Taking a position is very, very dangerous. A king, he gets 1/6 of the sinful activity, result of sinful activity of all the citizens. To become a guru, all the karma of the disciples will come. So who will be inspired to become like this? It's called burden of love. They don't want to do it, but Privarajaka Maharaj, he didn't want to become a king. But he did that out of service because the authorities told. Prabhupada never wanted to become a guru. He never wanted to preach Krishna consciousness all over the world because his guru instructed him to do that. It is his expression of love for his spiritual master. That is to be very, very properly understood. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu did not start his preaching until and unless his spiritual master told him to do that. Nityananda Prabhu did not start his preaching mission until and unless Chaitanya Mahaprabhu told him to do that. That is the process. We should not become attracted by that position. We should not be attracted by the position of service. We should be attracted by the principle of service. We should hanker for service, not for position of service. Krishna will give position, whatever is needed for our service. We should not hanker for that. That's why we should focus on service. Rupa Goswami, that's why I said, the symptom of love is to focus on the quality of service. Who is a Raganuga Bhakta? Who focuses on how to improve the quality of service. If someone is given the responsibility of cooking, he should always meditate how to improve the cooking for Krishna. Whatever service is available, we should try to improve the quality, not to jump for changing our position of service. Because in any way, wherever we are, we will be the servant of Krishna only. That does not change. Bigger position, bigger responsibility of service. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada used to tell that a guru is also the servant of his disciples. He has a responsibility to take the disciple home back to God. It's a great responsibility. It's a pain. So therefore, responsibility is a pain. So we have to take that responsibility and position with that mood. Position is a responsibility. Position is not a privilege. So that's why Mahaprabhu is teaching these 6 varieties or 6 kinds of anarthas or weeds that block our progress of devotional life. So now, only 5 more minutes. So Raghunandan Thakur and Vishnu Priya Devi, we should meditate. Raghunandan Thakur was such a exalted devotee. He was the son of Mukunda from Srikhanda. Srikhanda is a place near Katwa in West Bengal, in Goromandala Bhumi. So Mahaprabhu asked Mukunda, he said, Mukunda, Raghunandan is your son or you are Raghunandan's son? So Mukunda said, Mahaprabhu, Raghunandan is my father. I am his son. Why? Je bhaje se boro. Who is more advanced in Krishna consciousness? He is senior. We become entrapped. Who is senior? I am more years in Krishna consciousness. I took initiation in I having more higher position, so I am senior. But that is not the measurement of seniority. What is the symptom of seniority? Bhaktivinoda Thakur says the real measurement of seniority is who is more advanced in Krishna consciousness. So Raghunandan was the son, but Mukunda accepted him as his father. Why? There is a pastime. What is the pastime? So there was a Gopinath deity in his house of Mukunda, and Mukunda used to offer bhoga every day. So one day he had some work to go, so he told his small son that today you take care of the offering and make sure it is done. So he's a simple boy, but he is Nitya Siddhya. So Raghunandan brought the bhoga and told Gopinath, please eat. He was not eating. He said, why you are not eating? Eat. So Gopinath started eating and whole plate was over. Nothing was there. So Mukunda came back. He said, Raghunandan, where is Prasad? Prasad? What Prasad? No, after bhoga offering, where is Prasad? He said, Gopinath took everything. And he knew that Raghunandan will not tell lies. He was wonderstruck what happened. So one day, another day, he said, okay, today also you do bhoga offering. So he left the home, then again came back. And that time he was offering laddu. So Gopinath was taking laddu. So then then Gopinath saw that he is there, and Raghunandan also saw that his father was there, and the Lord, what he did, half laddu was inside, then half laddu was in his hand, and he stopped eating. And that deity is still available, and that is Raghunandan's love for Krishna. So how you can get that? It's possible to get it. Nitya Siddhya. He did not have to do the sadhana bhakti to do that. At his early age, he was doing like that. So that's why Raghunandan is the father, because he has love of Godhead. So who can become spiritual master? Who has love of Godhead. Otherwise, it's a problematic situation. You have become guru, but you don't have love for Krishna, then it's a problem. So when you have love of Godhead, then all the problems are solved. That's why you should aspire for that. As long as we don't have love of Godhead, there will be problem. We can be in charge of the entire creation, you will not be happy. Because only love of Godhead can give happiness. So therefore, we should hanker for that happiness. And Nitya Siddha devotees are showing how to be happy by this love of Godhead. So Vishnu Priya Devi, so what we can say about him? Even Lochandas Thakur cries by seeing the austerity and separation of Vishnu Priya Devi. Vishnu Priya Devi, I think she was feeling the separation of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. She was in separation for 80 years from Mahaprabhu. So Mahaprabhu came to show us love in separation, and Vishnu Priya Devi, the embodiment of that love in separation. And what she used to do, she used to take bath in the Ganges 3 times, and all the time she used to chant the holy name and crying for Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And she used to keep rice in one bowl, and he used to keep another bowl empty, and he used to chant Hare Krishna Maha mantra, one rice. In that way, whatever rice was there inside that bowl after chanting, then he used to cook that, offer it to Mother Sachi, then she used to take, and she became very thin because of the separation from Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So in that way, we can learn that how to serve the Lord in separation. So time is up. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu ki jai, Pundarik Vidyanidhi ki jai, Raghunandan Thakur ki jai, Vishnu Priya Devi ki jai, Gaur Premanande, Hare Hare Bol. I don't think you have any question. If you have, then maybe 2-3 minutes, because I have to travel. I don't have time. Quickly.
हरे कृष्ण महाराज, थैंक यू। जैसे बताया कि इनिशिएशन एक बार लेना पड़ता है और शिक्षा बार बार, तो शरीर चेंज करने के बाद भी दीक्षा लेना पड़ता है। जैसे अभी इनिशिएशन कोई लिया, फिर दूसरा शरीर चला गया, तो फिर से री इनिशिएशन होता है कि वो
दूसरा जन्म में? हाँ, अच्छा। तो हम लोग तो इस जन्म के लिए चर्चा कर रहे थे, ठीक है। तो दूसरा जन्म में दूसरी बार दीक्षा लेना पड़ेगा, क्योंकि हर जन्म में प्रोसेस फॉलो करना पड़ेगा। भजन चालू होता है जब हम लोग दीक्षा लेते हैं। जैसे कॉलेज में पढ़ाई करने के लिए पहले तो एंट्री लेना पड़ेगा ना। कॉलेज में एंट्री नहीं होगा तो कैसे पढ़ाई होगा? तो दीक्षा का मतलब भक्ति स्कूल में एंट्री हुआ है, उसके बाद पढ़ाई चालू होगा, यही बताया गया है।
श्रील प्रभुपाद जी ये जोलीने जयपता का स्वामी महाराज के लेटर मतलब पढ़ाता है, तो उसमें बताते हैं कि गुरु फिर से आते हैं उनको ले जाने के लिए।
इसका बहुत सारे व्याख्या है, तो उसके लिए चर्चा करने के लिए टाइम लगेगा। तो गुरु रेस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी लेते हैं, जो सद्गुरु होते हैं, नित्य सिद्ध गुरु होते हैं, वही भगवत धाम ले जा सकते हैं कोई शिष्य को। ऐसा गुरु, कौन सा गुरु आपको भगवत धाम ले जा सकता है? जो गुरु सिद्ध गुरु है। साधक गुरु आपको भगवत धाम नहीं ले जा सकते, वही तो साधना कर रहा है, वही खुद नहीं जाएगा कि नहीं जाएगा कोई पता नहीं, तो वो कैसे आपका रेस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी ले सकता है? जो सिद्ध है वही साधक का सिद्ध बना सकते हैं। जो गुरु खुद साधक है उसके लेवल पर ले जा सकता है, उसके ऊपर तो नहीं ले जा सकते। इसलिए गुरु बहुत सारे का गुरु होता है, कनिष्ठ गुरु, मध्यम गुरु, उत्तम गुरु, साधक गुरु, सिद्ध गुरु, श्रवण गुरु, वर्तमोपदेशक गुरु, दीक्षा गुरु, शिक्षा गुरु, बहुत सारे लेवल हैं। तो दीक्षा गुरु का भी लेवल होता है, शिक्षा गुरु का भी लेवल होता है। इन प्रभुपाद जी बोलते हैं कौन गुरु भगवत धाम ले जा सकता है? जो सिद्ध गुरु है। वो साधन सिद्ध हो सकता है, कृपा सिद्ध हो सकता है, नित्य सिद्ध भी हो सकता है। ठीक है,
ठीक है,
हरे कृष्ण।
धन्यवाद। हरे कृष्ण।
यही समस्या होगा अभी लगता है। उसके बाद लास्ट क्वेश्चन है ये वाला।
थैंक यू प्रभु जी, बहुत सुंदर क्लास हुआ। प्रभु जी मेरा एक प्रश्न है, जैसे आपने शुरू में वैष्णव अपराध के विषय में बहुत अच्छे से बताया, तो मैं ये जानना चाहता हूँ कि जैसे कि कोई भी अपराधी किसी भी वैष्णव के प्रति अपराध करते हैं, तो हालांकि उसमें वो प्रत्यक्ष रूप से इन्वॉल्व नहीं है, लेकिन उसमें वो उनका हाथ है, अप्रत्यक्ष रूप से उन्होंने कुछ तो उसमें इन्वॉल्व हो किसी वैष्णव के प्रति अपराध करने में। तो प्रत्यक्ष रूप से जो अपराध करते हैं उनका तो अपराध लगते हैं, लेकिन जो अप्रत्यक्ष रूप से भी उसमें इन्वॉल्व है तो उनको अपराध लगेगा या नहीं लगेगा?
जरूर लगेगा, 100%, 100% लगेगा। उदाहरण से भरा हुआ है, टाइम नहीं है, नहीं उदाहरण नहीं दे रहा हूँ, ठीक है। और तो वो तो छोड़िए, आपने अपराध किया नहीं लेकिन किसी को अपराध लगा, उसको भी फल मिलेगा। जैसे रूप गोस्वामी के उदाहरण में, रूप गोस्वामी तो अपराध नहीं किया है, फिर भी उनको लगा मैंने, उनका दुख हो गया कोई किसी का, उसमें भी अपराध का फल लगेगा। ठीक है,
थैंक यू प्रभु जी।
लास्ट वन, और टाइम नहीं है मेरे को, अभी जाना पड़ेगा। लास्ट वन, दिस वन द लास्ट।
Hare Krishna Maharaj, thank you very much. Maharaj, you mentioned that like Gadadhar Pandit, he done a mental offense, and because of that, to rectify that mental offenses, he had taken initiation from Pundrik Vidyanidhi. Maharaj, we all are conditioned soul, like not all. Like, I am specifically conditioned soul.
You should know yourself first.
So the point is that Maharaj ki sometimes because of my conditioning I commit a mental offense to a devotee. Now the problem is that like sinful activities Kalyug mein nahi valid hai mentally, but offenses mentally is valid. So now how to counteract that mental offense if I committed it and if it is coming to happen to me?
Yeah, that Prabhupada used to say that you should address your problem according to your level of existence. So it means that you don't commit any offense verbally. You only commit offense mentally.
Sometimes verbally also.
So first take care of that. So first take care of the gross problems, then come to the subtle problem. Just like we follow 4 regulative principles externally, but internally also there are some breaking of regulative principles. So first we should follow the gross regulative principles, then come to the subtle. We have to go step by step. At least we should not talk bad about devotees. We should not do something harm to the devotees. At least maintain that. When you are free from that, then mental thing will come. Because mind is very strong. So when you can be free from mind, when at least you should be free from this gross. Then mind. Mind is very subtle. So as long as there is anartha, there will be tendency to commit offenses. So as long as mind is materially attached, you cannot be free from this offense. That's why you have to be free from attachment. It's a root disease. There is no superficial solution for that. As long as material attachment will be there, we cannot be free from offenses. That's why it is written as the 10th offense. What is the 10th offense? To the holy name? Maintaining material attachment even after understanding so many instructions on this matter. You have to understand why it is explained like that. Because that is the root. Okay? Thank you very much.
Thank you, Maharaj.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Samaveta Bhakta Vrinda ki jai, Nitai Gaur Premanande, Hari Hari Bol.